All right, for more on that story, Ahmed Al Ibrahim joins me now from Riyadh. He's a Saudi affairs specialist. Ahmed, thank you very much for joining us. Now, put this into perspective for us. It's not uncommon for countries to boot out officials when they're at odds, but could this spin out of control?
Well, we assume that, or I assume in the coming couple of days, there will be going to be an escalation of what's happened. As you know, this is the second time that Saudi Arabia do that. The first time was in 1998 when actually a riot happened in front of the Saudi embassy in Tehran, and they injured and they killed a Saudi diplomat. And the relation was restored in 1991. In this case, it's going to be different. Saudi Arabia has really been having too much. I mean, they've said enough is enough. Iran is basically instigating the whole region from Iraq to Lebanon to Africa. And we all know that the Iranian embassies in all these countries are nothing but an espionage headquarter for the Iranian regime. Saudi Arabia took this step, and this step is needed to be taken, and this is going to be a new chapter in the Middle East or in the GCC countries from now on.
Ahmed, now, how likely is it to affect the situation on the ground in Syria and in Yemen when clearly there's an international effort to end the violence there?
Well, actually, probably a couple of days ago, we were a little bit optimistic on ending these conflicts in Yemen and in Syria. Definitely what happened is going to be escalating it a little bit, or maybe it's going to be a bargaining tool. So we yet to see in the coming 48 hours what is going to happen. But let me tell you one thing, by Iran exposing themselves so obvious in front of the whole world, and they showed the true face, Iran has nothing to offer anymore. They basically need to come back to their senses and come back to the international communities and to the treaties that the whole world signed in Geneva before 55 years. The Iranian regime is pretty much determined on what they do. They did this to the American embassy in 1979, and they did it for the British embassy and twice to the Saudi embassy. This is something that's in their blood. They need to come to their senses, and they need to figure out what they need to do.
Ahmed, now Saudi Arabia has faced criticism over the executions over the weekend from the United Nations, from the European Union, and you heard comments from Hillary Clinton over the weekend. What will the kingdom do with this criticism?
Well, you know, let's talk a little bit about the United States. There is a double standard in their statements. We really don't look at the United States, or we take what they said in seriousness, because you know what, Saudi Arabia, it's a full-fledged country, it's a sovereign country, and we do have our own laws, and you know, we take it from the Quran and from the Sharia. If Saudi Arabia fight terrorism, everybody points their finger at Saudi Arabia that they are supporting terrorism. And if we do kill terrorists, also the whole world community come on Saudi Arabia and say, oh, they are killing people. We don't know really what to do. So anyway, if we're going to keep listening to the international community, you know, we are not in that business. We're in business is to conduct business on the ground, to keep our citizens safe, to keep the whole world safe. Those 47 people, 46 of them, they are Sunnis and one Shia. So the Saudi government doesn't look at sex when they do their execution. They look at what your violation to the Saudi system, and they take it by the Sharia law, and they actually take it to 5 judges in order to prove that. The Saudi monarch or the Saudi leaders, they are not in the business of executing people. We have a country to build, we have a citizen to educate, we have people to progress, we have economy to take care of, and we have things to do at the day. So this is the last thing on the mind of our leaders, actually, to execute people. But if the world community is looking this way, too bad. If we do, damn if you do, and damn if you don't.
Okay. All right. Ahmed Al Ibrahim, joining us from Riyadh. Thank you for that analysis.